Hey guys, it's Melanie. Happy Tuesday. Today I have a powder foundation review to share. Most of you that have been following me for a while know that my preferred foundation is definitely powder foundation because of my oily skin type. I have tried a lot, and I mean a lot, of liquid foundations in my day, and no matter which one I try, they always oxidize. They always end up sliding down my face a few hours after application. They accentuate my pores. Just doesn't look good on my skin. And as a result, for years now, I've been wearing powder foundation. I originally started out with the original Bare Minerals powder foundation, just their original formula back when it was being sold on QVC. So I used to just order it from QVC. And it worked out well for a really long time, and then I decided to branch out, and I have tried lots of different powder foundations. My one true love that I honestly love more than any other powder foundation out there is most definitely the Laura Geller Balance and Brighten. This is actually a cream product that is baked on terracotta tiles. This here is the shade Porcelain, which is not my color, as you can tell, but the Fair is very neutral toned and sometimes a little bit too dark for my face. So I use the Porcelain to balance it out. So I'll use a little bit of both. So I've never been able to find my ideal shade in the Balance and Brighten, but the finish of it is flawless. It wears all day. It has a beautiful satin finish to it, and I just love it. You can still find Laura Geller on her website, as well as QVC and I think Macy's. It's sold in a few places. They're no longer being sold at Ulta. What happened with Laura Geller is her parent company, I don't remember the name of it, but they went bankrupt, but they were picked up by another parent company. So I don't think the brand is going anywhere, but I do have like just this looming fear all the time that Balance and Brighten is gonna go away. There's just nothing like it in terms of how it looks on my skin. But I do realize that there are other powder foundations out there, and I like to try them from time to time. And today I'm gonna be talking about the Well People Bio Base Baked Foundation. I recently picked this up at Ulta. I will link this down below. And I've heard a lot of people talking about Well People, and lots of good things are being said about the brand. You can also find, I think I actually saw like a whole Well People display at Target. So I'll link this in a couple places down below. The one that I picked up was Fair Golden, which I thought would be the best fit on me. I have to admit this is a lot lighter than I anticipated it to be, but it is the right like yellow tone for my skin. It works, but it's definitely more of like a fall and winter shade than it is a summer shade for me. So, but anyway, this is not cheap. This is actually almost right up there with the price point of my beloved Balance and Brighten. So this retails for $27.99. So basically 28 bucks. Balance and Brighten, I think at this point is either at like $33 or $35. I don't know. But there is a fair amount of product in here. So this is 7.5 grams or 0.26 ounces. I don't know. This does say that this is a baked powder foundation. So I don't know if this starts off as a liquid or a cream as well, and then they bake it. I'm assuming probably. So I'm just gonna read you this little blurb off the back here, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the shade options, the wear on my skin, what my thoughts are if I'm gonna repurchase it. So they say, discover the power of this extraordinary makeup foundation that combines the benefits of a cream and liquid coverage in a highly effective, easy to apply pressed foundation. Bio-based baked foundation provides the ultimate semi-matte coverage that feels completely weightless and leaves skin looking luminous and flawless. So Well People is one of those clean non-toxic skin, I don't think they have skincare, but like makeup brands. So they're free from parabens, coal tar, petrolatum, nanoparticles, synthetic fragrance, propylene glycol, sulfates, phthalates, dimethicone, formaldehyde, lead, BHT, BHA, DEA, dioxane, and also bad mojo. So bonus for being free of bad mojo. I hate just bad mojo is not a good thing, obviously. Okay, so the ingredients in here are, they're pretty basic. There's not a lot going on in here. There's mica, there's cornstarch, there's some squalane in here, which is good. That's a good hydrating ingredient. Squalane mimics your skin's natural oil the most. There is also lactic acid in here, and this is USDA organic. So, shade range, kind of small. I'm gonna be honest, there's 6 options and like basically 2 like darker skin options. There's really not a lot. There is a tan, and then there is, wait, what are these? So there's apparently 2 tans. No, there's a tan and a dark neutral. Medium skin with neutral undertones is the dark neutral, and then tan is tan skin with neutral. But they look really light. I don't think that they have enough options at all. So that is definitely a strike against them. But being pasty, the Golden Fair was probably a really good option for me. Truthfully, I almost wish that I would have gone with the golden medium, because I feel like that would have probably been a more appropriate shade for me. You can apply this wet with a sponge, and I have been doing that. So I've basically just been taking a beauty blender and wetting it, and then if I wanted some extra coverage, I would do that. It doesn't ruin the powder when you do that, but for the most part, I've just been using my beloved Bye Bye Pores powder brush from It Cosmetics. This is amazing, by the way. I've had this for a few years now, and it's held up really well. If you're looking for a really good, dense, kabuki style brush to put on your powder foundation, this one's amazing. Washes up really well, and there's powder flying out of it right now. That one is fantastic. It's spendy, but is 100% worth it. All right, so you can definitely get more coverage if you use a wet sponge. Although I don't really like the way that that looks on my skin, I will use it in certain areas to get a little bit more coverage, like around my nose, just areas where I have a little bit of redness, sometimes a little bit more coverage on my cheeks to help to blur my pores a little bit. Because this does have the cornstarch in it, it does do a really good job of absorbing excess oil. But the coverage it's good, but it is definitely on the light to light medium end. Like, you're never gonna get full coverage from this, and you're probably not ever gonna get full coverage from like any powder foundation. So if that's what you're looking for, powder foundation may not be the way to go. Maybe more of a cream formula would be better. But the finish of this is very matte. It's not satin at all, and I expected it to have kind of a satin finish. It's very matte, to the point where when I first apply it, I don't really love the way that my skin looks. It just looks like I powdered the heck out of it. But once my natural oils kind of start coming through just a little bit, sorry that I'm squinting. It's like really bright right now. Once my natural oil starts coming through just a little bit, it definitely blends with the foundation and makes it look a lot more natural on my face, but it takes at least an hour to get to that point. So with all that being said, what are my thoughts on this? First off, I think it's a little bit overpriced for what it is, because the quality does not feel as nice as the Balance and Brighten. I feel like, obviously, I wish that Balance and Brighten was less expensive, but I can see the price point because it's such a high quality product that provides such a beautiful finish. This to me is more of like a drugstore powder foundation. Not a ton of coverage, Looks a little dry at first. You have to kind of make it work with your skin. So for me, this is actually a better finishing powder, to be totally honest. I think that I'm going to continue to use this as a finishing powder. I'm not going to return it because I do think it's good at absorbing excess oil, and that's always a bonus for me with my super oily skin. But I just think that it works better when I buff it onto my skin lightly with like a fluffier brush like this, versus applying it for a heavier coverage with something like this, like a kabuki type brush. So it helps to absorb the excess oil, but I am still finding myself putting on Balance and Brighten first because of that beautiful finish, and then going over top with this as a finishing powder. So I wore it as a powder foundation for several days, and I just didn't like it as much as Balance and Brighten. So is this a winner? I don't think it's a loser. I think it's worth trying, especially if you like clean skincare brands. If you are averse to some of the ingredients that are in Balance and Brighten, definitely give this one here a look-see. I don't know, I think it was totally worth a try. I'll be honest. I think it was worth trying. I think spending the 28 bucks was fine. It's not a huge like dent in my pocketbook. And I do think that I have a really nice finishing powder here. I do think that I could definitely even pop this in my purse and use it to bring down any shine on my face throughout the day. So just bring a brush with me, like a small compact brush. And once I blot, just going over my face with a little bit of this, I feel like would be a great thing. Doesn't necessarily accentuate my pores or anything like that because it is such a nice matte formula, but it does look very dry on the skin at first. So I would say if you have really dry skin, I don't think you're gonna like this. If you have combination normal or oily or very oily skin like me, I think it's worth trying. So anyway, there you guys go. Those are my thoughts on the Well People Baked bio-based baked powder foundation. Have you tried this? What are your thoughts? I have both dogs in here. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on this product if you've tried it, or what else have you tried from Well People? What's your favorite thing from the brand? Is there anything else that I should try? Let me know. I'm always curious about your guys' thoughts as well. So I will link everything that I talked about in the description box, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.